Okay, the last one to make is the filing cabinet. It's the one that probably is the most involved. I'm going to use some tools I haven't shown before. But the basic shape, of course, is a rectangle push-pull. So we see here that it's 48 inches tall. That'll be my push-pull. I'm going to do a 16-inch by 20-inch rectangle on the ground. So 16 by 20, push-pull 48. So flip back over to SketchUp, rectangle, and 16 by 20. 16 inches, comma, 20 inches, and push-pull 48. There's the basic rectangle. Should be about the height of the girl, a little bit less. Now you can see as I orbit this that it's deeper this way and narrower this way, and I think that's what we see here. Yeah, deeper. So the narrow face has the drawer fronts. Maybe what we could do right now is go ahead and dimension this. Front face. So there's our 16. And dimension this. And there's our 20. Okay. Now, the drawer fronts are spaced evenly. And you could draw some rectangles and try to space them evenly, but I think I'm going to use some guidelines instead. So we see that each drawer front is 15 inches wide and 11 inches tall, and they're spaced as shown below. So basically what we see here is that it looks like even spacing on the left and the right. Bottom spacing is a little bit bigger than the top. Pretty narrow spacing in between. So if we know, let's just do left to right first. If we know the overall width is 16 and each drawer front is 15, that leaves us an inch or a half an inch on each side. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to try to use my tape measure. And if I get on here, just click once and start sliding in. Okay, and you can look, I can do a length here. It's a distance in. I'm going to do a 0.5 inches. And that made a guideline for me. And now I'm going to come this way and do 0.5 inches. So those are the left and right edges of the drawer fronts. Okay, overall 16. Drawer fronts are 15, 15 and a half, 16 total inches. Alright, so each drawer front is 11 inches tall, and I have 48 inches to work with. I have 4 drawer fronts. So 4 times 11 is 44. That leaves me 4 inches. If I do a half an inch in between, that's 1, 2, 3 half inches. So now I'm at 44, 45 and a half. If I do an inch up here, that's 46 and a half. And I could do an inch and a half down here. That looks a little bit bigger. That'd be 48. So let's just see if that works. So if we start by coming up an inch and a half off the bottom. Again, we'll use the tape measure. Click on the bottom and come up 1.5 inches. The next spacing should be a drawer front. That's 11 inches. So from that dotted line, I'll click and come up 11 inches. And then if I come up a half an inch for the spacing, and then another 11, and then another half. I'm always clicking on the line that I just drew. Another 11. Another half. Another 11. And that leaves me some space at the top. Now all I can do is take my rectangle tool and connect from there to there. Zoom in. So I'm starting in this upper left-hand corner and drawing down to that bottom right. Starting in the upper left, drawing down to the bottom right. Upper left, down to bottom right. If these guidelines are bothering you now, you can get rid of them. So, but you might want to dimension first. Not sure it's a big deal. I'll go ahead and dimension mine. So I know this drawer should be 11 inches tall and 14 inches wide. And I can see even spacing here, so I'm not worried about that. But I wonder, yep. So we could click on those. And again, if you didn't see the earlier video, right click, text position, and say outside the end. So it shows a ½ inch gap there. And we probably can show the same thing here. Oh, sorry, dimension tool. Right click, text position, outside the end, and you can begin to see all of your spacing. If I were going to build this for somebody, I would also need to know this dimension down here. How far off the ground is it before the first drawer starts? 1.5 inches. I can make those assumptions up there. This one should be 1 inch up here. There we go. So you might not want to get rid of your dimension lines right off the bat, and maybe you don't want to get rid of them at all, because it does show how you space things evenly. And then if you want to get fancier and draw the drawer fronts on here, you certainly can. If you want to open up one of these drawers, you could do something like that, pull it out, and then come around on top of it and put a rectangle on here. And again, if you want to be disciplined, you could just say, maybe you're going to say it's 0.25 inches all the way around. And then draw your rectangle back into there. And then you could pull that down and open it up. Or I suppose you could just delete it. But you don't want to get rid of the whole thing. You want to keep a bottom on it. And then if you're really going to be picky, you can get rid of that back wall. That part is kind of up to you as far as what time you have. All right, so there's our file cabinet with our dimensions.